Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Are you receiving? Good. The signal's faint, but I think it's going through. I don't know how this is going to appear to you in your world. Hell, I don't even know if this is going to reach your world. But whenever we would receive messages, they came in the form of cassette tapes. Something about the medium being harder for them to tamper with. Listen, who I am is not important. I hardly remember who I am anyway. But you need to understand how life is for me now. How life is in this place. How life is going to be for you soon enough. I suppose I'll begin with my immediate surroundings to give you a clearer picture of what's going on. Well, today began much the same as yesterday did. A few minutes ago, I awoke in a strange room, in a strange building, in a strange city. I had a weapon, of course, this time a Colt M1911A1. After taking a moment to reacquaint myself with its functionality and noting with a frown the partially blocked magazine, I checked my pockets. In them, I found 9 45 ACP cartridges. 3 were spent. I loaded as much ammo as the magazine permitted and discarded the spent cartridges before noticing this recorder in the corner. I've never seen one here before, but I have to assume that my subconscious desire to speak to someone else, to warn you, I guess, has somehow manifested itself thusly. I'm just stepping out of the room now, and I can see that I'm in the apartments. You see, there's not really an order to the layout here. I'll expand upon that later. Anyway, I don't know if we need to eat or drink here. I just seem to exist without hunger or thirst in this place. But I have my own theories as to why there's always something in the fridge in the apartments. And speaking of, I just found some vodka. There's no branding on the bottle, of course. It's just a plain label identifying the contents as vodka and an indication of the alcohol content. In this case, 50% ABV. Sounds good to me, though. I don't mind if I do. I'm glancing out the window now, and I'm greeted by the same scene I always am. The sky is blanketed in an eerie, eternal night. The stars are wrong, like a copy of a memory of a dream. It's such an obvious facsimile, and yet I can't remember how they're supposed to look. I just know that they aren't supposed to look like that. The only sounds I hear are of whirring generators, the buzzing and flickering of old fluorescent lighting, the creaking supports of old buildings, the squeaks and groans of rusted catwalks, and a steady, beating rain as the unnatural stillness of the surrounding cityscape drives home just how utterly alone I am. Alone. Yeah. Oh, God. It's so much worse than they said it'd be. So much worse than anyone could possibly have imagined. To say that they won would be inaccurate. A victory implies that a struggle took place, that there was ever a fighting chance for both sides. No, there was no fight. No great war for our survival. The sun simply went down one day, and it never came back up. By the time anyone had realized anything was wrong, there was nobody left. They simply erased us. Sorry. I'm sorry. I never did have very high tolerance. I guess this stuff hit me pretty quick. I don't know who or what they are. Not exactly. All I know is that our existence, our consciousness, seems to be anathema to them. Nobody knows just when or how they came to be. Perhaps they were always here, from the very first thought, dogging our footsteps just as light begets shadow, the echo of our collective existence. The signs have always been there. You've no doubt seen them. That little voice at the back of your head telling you that you're bound to fail at something. The feeling in your stomach just before you ask someone out that there's no way that they would ever go for a person like you. That urge to give up when you're running uphill. Even the burning in your joints that science attributes to a buildup of lactic acid. Their presence is felt in all of these things and more. They just keep pushing and prodding, chipping away at the weak points of our psyche until they break us. Some folks lash out in acts of violence, mass shootings, patricide, spousal abuse, and rape. Others commit suicide. Others still simply allow themselves to waste away. From the time of the first murder, the first violent thought, our fate was sealed. It only takes a spark to birth an inferno, and somehow that negative energy attracted them to us, caused them to notice us. As time went on and technology advanced, they began to ramp up their attacks on our species, targeting those of high status in order to use them as beacons to further their design. You see, they are insidious and efficient in their methodology. When a mind is affected by them, that mind does not simply wither and die on its own. No, it becomes more like a Trojan horse. They utilize our own predisposition for compassion against us, drawing those in who wish to help those shattered minds. And then the trap is sprung. Those who succumb to their influence will spread it to everyone that they interact with, in turn creating more ticking time bombs of negative influence just waiting to go off. With the advent of more sophisticated methods of communication, we essentially handed them the axe with which they would execute our species. They infected our media, poisoning the entertainment and news we consumed, assaulting our minds with useless junk information, and tarnishing our every thought with their own machinations. At first, no one was the wiser. We simply accepted that this was the way life was supposed to be. There were enough positive influences in the world at that time that we could still block them out without even realizing we were in any danger. Over time, however, our collective will was weakened to the point where they could finally push into our world and make themselves known. A mind kill. An apocalypse of unfathomable proportions. Not just humanity, not just life on Earth. Reality itself as we understood it. Riven to its most basic foundations and destroyed utterly and in totality. And it all happened in a single instant, before anybody even knew what had hit them. So just what are they? They are the harbingers of failure and stagnation. They are the essence of doubt, the sowers of strife, the champions of ruin. We call them the threat. And they are coming for your world next. This is a warning to your entire planet. Your world is in grave danger. The threat has breached your reality, and the mind kill is coming. There is no fighting it. There is no avoiding it. All you can do now is prepare yourself and strengthen your mind for the trials to come. Your world is doomed. But take heart. You are not without hope. If you are able to hear this message, you are one of the few we can help. We call you receivers. Your unique mind will allow your consciousness to persist after the mind kill. Your body will be gone, but your abstract thoughts, your emotions, your very soul, if you believe in that kind of thing, will be taken to a sort of shadow reality. The dreaming. That's where I am now, actually. This city, if you can call it that, is infinite and nonsensical. A series of liminal spaces like a fever dream. Boiler rooms connect to patios. Warehouses give way to hospital lobbies. It's all familiar, yet alien. Normal, yet wrong. I believe this is done intentionally in an attempt to lull new receivers into a false sense of comfort, or perhaps even distraction. Think about it. If you're in a safe place, you'll be less careful. You won't be on guard as much. you won't notice as much. Same with this alcohol. I believe the threat places it here purposefully in order to distract us. It's hard to pay attention to your surroundings if you're drunk, after all. But pay attention you must.
You won't be safe here.
The threat will send its agents to try to destroy what remains of you. But you have to fight back. You have to... Please. Please. Just listen. I know it's a lot to take in, but cling to what you love, to the people you care for. Fight for the world you know.
For the world you cannot save.
You and those like you will be all that remain after the mind kill. The tapes told us we just had to train, that we had to concentrate on their teachings, our training, and we'd eventually reach a higher state of being. Not like a Zen state or something, but something greater. Awakening, they called it. They made it sound like we'd become gods. And maybe some of us still can. Maybe all it takes is just one of us, and then I don't know what comes after all of this. If anything comes after. I don't know if we can rebuild. If there's even any point to any of this. Some days it's all just so clear to me, and I fight hard just to preserve a small piece of the world I knew. Other days I don't remember. I don't remember. I die, and I lose another part of myself, another part of my world. And each time I'm hoping that maybe, finally, this will be the last time and I can finally rest. But I always find myself waking up in another room, in another city. The grandmother you kept meaning to call. The partner you had a fight with and never apologized to. The nephew whose birthday you forgot. Again. The birds singing in the trees. The clouds dancing in rhythm to the breath of the world. Sailing across a pure blue sky. No more.
No more.
What once was will never be again. I think about all of this. I try to remember. They took everything from me. Everything from our world. And it wasn't enough. You know, Every day, they take a little bit more from you. The name of a childhood pet, the smell of an old flame's hair, the color of your first car, hell, even the ending of your favorite book. Little by little, bit by bit, they destroy the very essence of what makes you, you, until at the very end, there is nothing left. Maybe this is hell. Maybe there is no point to the suffering, no end to the trials.
Maybe we deserve
Oh God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I let it get to me again. Please, strengthen your mind and prepare yourself. You are a receiver, and you must awaken. It's all you can do. It's all any of us can do now.